Fireside. And welcome back.
Hey, welcome to Fireside, the official podcast of the Tattoo Improvement Network. Go to tattooimprovement.com. Can you see that
from here?
You know what you guys, if you follow the show, if you already know who's sitting here with us, this is Ty Pallotta. Wait, how do I pronounce your last
Pallotta.
name? Pallotta.
Yeah.
I said it right. I thought you told me I said it wrong.
You did.
You did.
You did.
Yeah,
I
you
remember.
definitely did.
We whenever I saw that Ty was going to be here, I was like, man, we had such a good time last time. We should do this again. And you know what I just noticed? I was wearing this shirt last time.
The exact same shirt.
Man.
Was I wearing
this
I
shirt
don't
last
know.
time? I don't know. That'd be pretty
awesome.
awesome.
So that'd be really cool if that's the case. I don't think so though, but I did notice I was wearing this one. So yeah, I thought we'd talk. We've already kind of gotten to know you a little bit on the show, so I thought maybe we would just expand on that. We should get the elephant in the room out of the way first. So tell everyone how much you spent on a slice of pizza at this thing today.
Right.
All right, 2 slices of pizza, 2 bottles of water, $25.
Huh?
$8.25 for a slice.
Eat before you
Eat
come.
before you come. No way.
For a rather terrible slice of pizza too.
Well,
might I
that's a
add.
good- yeah, you can get an entire pizza. You can get almost 2 Little Caesars pizzas for that.
Yeah, pizza.
Yeah.
Wait.
So you just broke some news to us. You're going to be kind of moving back to Austin part-time-ish?
Yeah. 30 days in, 30 days in Jersey. Yeah.
So you're going to be away from your family for 30 days at a time?
Yep. It'll be good productivity time though.
Yeah, that's
art-wise. I just picked up Cintiq, so I'm gonna
me too.
learn some good digital stuff, man. It's
Yeah.
gonna speed up the process a little bit for me. Eventually, it's making it much slower right now.
Which one did you get? Which Cintiq?
The Companion 2.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I got. I got the hybrid, the Companion 2 hybrid. This has the Android system or whatever.
This has like
The
a full
full-
Windows operating
yeah.
system. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same.
It's a bummer that it doesn't link up to the MacBook. At least I can't figure that part out. I don't think it does.
I don't think so.
But at least I won't have to carry around 2 things once I figure out how to use Windows.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a Safari and Mac guy all the way, so
Yeah,
it's a
I'm
nice
no
learning curve. It really is. But the sketch part of it's pretty amazing so far.
It's pretty cool. David hasn't played with him at all yet. He's very traditional drawing kind
I
of
still
guy.
like a pencil.
He loves pencils with very
But
tiny
I
lids.
see people working with them like great. Like, I can definitely see why you use them, how fast you can push your drawings, and
Yeah.
they're amazing.
I'm
Yeah.
watching a lot of guys that actually sketch, then scan their sketch in, and I want to get to the point where I'm just sketching without scanning it in, just right on it.
Yeah, I think it comes pretty quickly, especially with the Cintiq. Now they've the first time I tried doing that, I felt like I was drawing with like a pen on marble. It was like very
Yeah.
slippery.
Yeah.
But the Cintiq has a little tooth, and once you get
definitely
used to
does.
it, it kind of feels like you're pulling on not like paper, but pretty
Yeah.
close. And the pressure sensitivity is so crazy on it. I mean, you can kind of turn the pencil on its side a little bit, and
Yeah.
depending on the brushes that you're using. So
Yeah, I like the feel of it much better than Apple's new product.
I
My
haven't tried that.
coworker has it, and it's like drawing on an iPad with a piece of plastic. It's super slick.
yeah, it's kind
If
of
you never used one or the other, you would like either one probably just as well. But I'm glad I went for the Pros tool.
Yeah, I like that Cintiq. So you're gonna have a unique challenge. You're gonna be running a shop from another part of the country, like part time, huh?
Yeah.
Do you have a plan for that?
Yeah, honest people, honest people,
Cross your
and
fingers and all.
people who can do things on their own without having to have somebody watch over them is what I have in the shop now. They're fully self-sufficient. They have their own LLCs formed and everything.
Oh, wow.
They're legit subs, so
Okay.
they've got their own insurance and everything. So it's going to be kind of like it is now with me not there every day. Yeah. So.
They were doing that even before this. They already had formed LLCs and kind of took care. Was that that was the agreement that you guys had?
That
on
was
the
the
front
agreement.
end?
That was the agreement that I have bringing people in. You're setting your own hours. You're doing your own thing. You're deciding when you're going to be here, or whether you're going to be at a guest spot, or whether you're going to be at a convention. So,
Okay.
if you're not setting a business hours and only working for me, you're technically not my employee. So you're an independent contractor as is. So it works better for me to say, here, I'm going to take this much from you in rent, and you do what you want to do when you want to do it, and decide whether or not you want to work or not. It's your money. It's your time. and they're motivated people because with that rent situation, they actually want to work harder to put more money in their pocket.
So they're just renting spaces. You've never done a commission split with them?
Not with these guys, no.
Okay.
In the past, I tried it with people, and it just doesn't work.
You didn't like the commission split?
I mean, the commission split's not bad when people are honest with you, but it seems to, with the commission split for me, it seemed more like, oh, I'm only charging him this much money, he's my friend, and then they were taking it as a tip anyhow. So they would take more money on the back end as a tip. This way, I don't have to worry about that. The rent is the rent. Say you're doing what you're doing with your tips, it's all the same to me.
Yeah. I can see.
It's a different. I want to say compared to how things were even 10 years ago, it's a much different business we're in. So if you can get a hold of responsible, hardworking people, I feel the rent thing's a better thing. It takes the right kind of person to put them in that situation and give them that responsibility for sure. But
driven, motivated.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you have to have your shit together if you're gonna, operate your own business, pay your taxes on time, and do everything you're supposed to do the right way. Yeah.
Right.
It's not cut out for everybody, and that's where the regular percentage split would work better for most. Yeah.
What do you think changed? You said it's a different business than it was before. Is it just the number
it's more,
of people that
it's the number of people, yeah. The more saturated it gets, you're going to get the better quality people by offering them more or giving them the responsibility if they wanted of having rent. And a lot of people do. They would rather have a nice flat rent than they really want to open their own shop, but they don't want all that responsibility. But if you're willing to give them the rent, they're working with other like-minded, responsible people, and it's a cool work environment all around. Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds like a good deal all around.
Yeah.
And that they're responsible enough to take you up on it. They just didn't walk away from it either.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that is a big deal.
Yeah.
Taking on that much responsibility and going that next step, starting your own business one way or another.
It's a good chunk of responsibility, but still nowhere near as much as you would have to take on if you were renting an entire space by yourself and monitoring percentages of other employees and things of that nature. So I would say a lot of quality artists. It's the same thing as opening a private studio, but still being in the public view for everybody to see, working with other people that would have done private studio as well.
Sure.
What's your plan in Austin? Are you going to work at a shop, or are you going to open another space?
I'm going to work for somebody else, and I'm going to play that by ear to see what's available here. Last time I was here in 2007, it was still like 60 to 65% was the average you would get for a good tattooer. And now people are offering more booth rentals, daily day rentals per day, that kind of thing. So we'll see where it goes. Yeah, I have a couple friends that I used to work with that have their own shops now, so I'm just going to put it out there to everybody and see who wants me.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's something you feel like we've touched on everything tattoo related in the course of this show, but we've never really talked about how people structure with their subs that much. And you just always thought of a commission split or a booth rental, but I mean, I wonder how easy it would be to gauge if there is if it's moving to one thing or another, because like you're saying, you're trying to attract. There's more competition. You're trying to attract better tattooers to your shop, and how you could get creative in getting the right people around you.
I feel like around cities and maybe more in the Northeast, you'll find more of that rent scenario. But I had some friends from Maryland that were all on commission split, and the people they were working for, it was a strange shop where it's like 50-50, and you weren't allowed to be friends with the people you worked with outside of work. They didn't want anybody hanging with each other. They didn't want anybody getting in cahoots with each other so that they could go open their own shop. It was very shady to me. To me, that seemed more like the way things were probably in like the mid 80s, late 80s, early 90s, And here we are in 2015, and these guys can't be friends with the people they work with. What kind of work environment is that? Certainly not a very fun one. Who the hell wants to work in that place if I can't even be friends with these people?
No interaction.
So
y'all can't be buddies.
It really shocked me, like with what I'm doing and how I'm structuring my shop. It shocked me that there were still shops with that old school mentality, and these people needed the jobs, and they didn't question it. And they said, "All right, this is what I need. The shop is busy. They spend a lot of money on advertising. There's a lot of walk-ins. I have to work here." She doesn't want me to be friends with everybody. I guess I won't be friends with everybody. It's like that. It's crazy.
It hints back to that. In Memphis, there used to be people that try to get, when you got signed into a shop, give you no contest clauses, where if you left that shop, you couldn't go to another, where you couldn't go to another shop within hundreds of miles and stuff like that too. Which was, you can't enforce any of that. It's totally illegal to do something like that. But that kind of old mentality, though, is still out there. It's amazing.
It's pretty crazy.
changing speed a little bit, we were looking at your, we're going through some of your work. What a theme I'm trying to establish for this for this is what do you find? What's your biggest struggle right now as a tattooer or as an artist in general? What are you?
It's what it's always been. Not feeling that I have a true defined style. I'm very well rounded. But I don't think people know me for one versus another anymore, and I've struggled with that, and I find it's actually harder for me to get people to be interested in my illustrated work, which is what I'm winning all of the awards for now. But people still want photorealism because that picture looks awesome, and all I'm looking at is your line work, and like I know where I'm going with an illustration, but people don't, and I guess I just don't have a big enough portfolio built of that to show what I'm capable of as an artist, and it is a struggle. Yeah,
that's funny because you're the third person that had that exact answer today, that it was developing a style, and we've had
identity.
that talk. We've had that talk on the show before in a different sense, in where we were talking about young artists
trying to establish immediately
trying to identify with a style so that they could be recognized, because they look at other artists that have a style and maybe not exploring enough. But then someone that's been tattooing, how long have you been tattooing again?
Since 98, 17, 18 years.
Yeah, so someone that's been tattooing for nearly 20 years is still has the same struggle.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it really is. And I always wondered, like, I'm watching guys tattooing for 2 years that only do their thing. Are they that busy all the time? Do people travel from everywhere to come and see them and do only what they want to do? Or do they have a lot of downtime because they won't do what they don't want to do? Yeah, you know?
You have to have a specific clientele and the person that comes in and needs it and wants that tattoo that day. And like I said, doesn't mind that your style is specific, you know?
Yeah. My problem, I think, is, 2004 when we opened till 2007, I was the only shop in town. And we developed a lot of quality relationships with other local business owners and the community in general. So it's hard for me to say no to people when they walk through the door, whether they want something that's not my speed or whatever. They're still looking forward to me doing that tattoo because I'm the guy in the community that everybody related to. I'm the quality guy. I'm the guy that doesn't have the substance abuse problems. I'm the guy that's getting involved in local fundraisers, things of that nature that a lot of people aren't willing to do. So how do you say no to, the little street shop tattoo or the little script name or whatever means something to them that really doesn't hold my interest? I can't. I have to do it. So that I find myself becoming the yes man more than I really want to become the yes man to make everybody happy. And that is one thing that I feel struggles, it's a personal struggle for me with my portfolio to not be able to just do what I want to do.
Do you have, if you don't mind, do you have a minimum? Because sometimes that's what we've been finding. Like recently, people moving their minimums to kind of alleviate some of that problem. And it may not be, but it definitely turns people away if you have a certain minimum. I just didn't know if that's ever been
I've bounced back and forth and fluctuated with that quite a bit, where I'd go to a 3-hour minimum. And then to be realistic, it's like, with a 3-hour minimum, good Lord, so somebody wants to come in for a script name or a little ring finger tattoo, am I really going to charge them $450? Like, no, that's absurd. But at the same time, they don't understand why they can't have the appointment in my book, because if I'm working on a 6 to 8 hour piece, I can't say, okay, you can only make it in here at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. All right, let me fuck up my entire day so that I could stick you in the middle of it, and then that ruins my chance of getting that big job, where the only opportunity for me to be even remotely fair with them is you come really early in the morning before I start my day, or you wait around until I finish that tattoo, and if I have any energy left, then we do your tattoo. So it is a struggle, because it turns away and turns off new potential clients who may be getting a ring finger tattoo now, but they might be doing a sleeve or a back piece or something large later. So it's difficult.
I've heard you say that exact thing.
And that was, but maybe my next question was, have you apprenticed anyone? Do you take on someone that would maybe take that pressure off of you, or the people that you work with? Do you have someone that's like, okay, you've got to step up. This should be your job.
They do help with that, but when these people are coming in and asking for me, and I say, well, look, my schedule is really hectic, they can take care of it for you, but I really want you. how do you say no? It is. I've done it quite a few times where I've said no, and you could tell that it really upsets the person. Because for some people, it wouldn't have even been about the price. They really just wanted you.
Yeah.
And other people, they want you at the same price that they could go to the street shop down the block,
Right.
and that's where it upsets me.
Yeah.
So it's hard to separate the people who are willing to pay you a little extra versus the people who want the $40 that was quoted from the guy down the block that sucks.
Yeah.
So that's
I think that is one of the unique struggles, especially if a couple of things. One, if it's a long-term client that wants something small that you've worked on for a long time, and we did an episode about outgrowing your clientele one time, just about how you were starting to move to a different point in your career or with your art, and your clientele is still wanting,
same work
minimum.
from 12, 15 years ago.
Right, and from a pricing standpoint, and from just from the size of the tattoo or the subject matter or whatever it might be, and I'll tell people pretty often I've got a 2-hour minimum. So when people will come in and want something small, I'll say, well, you could. I can do it in 6 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever, but it's going to be at $250 when the girl at the station next to me could do it for $60 and she's open tonight, and you won't know the difference in the tattoo. Like, that tattoo is simple enough.
Right.
She's going to do it. I would do it. You would never know the difference. And then some people, like you're saying, will be like, no, I'm willing to pay, you did my friend's tattoo or whatever. I'm willing to pay your minimum. I just want you to do
Right.
it. Then you're faced with the whole now I feel like an asshole. Can't charge you $250 for that.
Right.
Then someone's gonna ask you what you paid for, and they're gonna like, wow, that guy really ripped you off.
Yeah.
So it's a struggle.
it sure is, man. Yeah.
I think that's a valid point too. It's like before we were talking about his what's his name? We were just talking to. He had the guy that taught him had a business card that had like every style on it.
Yeah,
like I'm good at exactly.
mentor, yeah.
Just like I'm good at photorealistic, American, traditional American, and just one after the other. And it's like, of course, you can be kind of good at those, but you can't be great at all of those. And it's like
specializing in this,
and
Right.
that's I think is hopefully
Specializing in everything.
That's what he has. Just a
It's not exactly a specialist, is it?
10 point.
Yeah, specializing in American traditional portraiture, lettering, but like everything.
Right.
I'm the
But
best
there are
at all.
still people that really kind of cling to that, and that's why we were wondering if you've been moving to a certain style or something that you really wanted to get into, and that
I used to be more of the reproduction guy,
Yeah.
and reproduction by including portraits, painting reproductions, everything. Esau Andrews paintings, which are complex paintings, doing things like that, I found fun and challenging. But the more I developed my own artwork, now I'd really like to push in that direction. But I have, 8 years of this realism in painting reproduction fucking just crushing me, and it's hard for me to convince people to do what I want to do. Yeah.
Well, how, like what you've done here today, lying out, doing some really illustrative drawings, just in pencil sketches, and putting them out as possible tattoos. Does that seem to be a strategy that's working pretty well? Do people?
I think it's too early on for me to know because my portfolio is still illustrated and some of the reproduction stuff. Most of my book now is illustrated with a little bit of reproduction, and I found that when I build a completely illustrated portfolio, I no longer have people oh my God, that's, I did with the realism and stuff. It's the general public who aren't really, I guess, tattoo savvy. All they want is to see is just realism.
Yeah.
And it's like mind-blowing realism. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what
And
helps them recognize that you can draw, and that you're like, wow, that guy's really good. It looks just like what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah, and I mean, for the longest time, it was like, oh, well, be happy with the gifts you were given, and I am. I'm grateful to be able to reproduce that stuff, but I also want to be myself. I want to see where I can go on my own, and it was when I did several of those illustrated pieces, and I'm winning awards with them. Those are on my clients who trust me to do whatever I want to do on them. The general public will still walk through my door and say, no, I want realism, or no, I want this painting reproduction, and it's like, fuck. I almost feel like maybe the move to Austin is going to help me with that. If I only put out my own illustrated work and refuse to do any kind of reproduction thing, then I'll at least build a client base for that. And back home, I'll have to eat shit and do everything everybody wants to do.
Well, that would be an interesting experiment to see if you can, with a clean slate, if you can introduce what you're trying to do and see how it works. I mean,
it seems to work.
And,
for most
and
people
having the
we've talked
courage to
about.
say no
Like,
the next time they come in and want something you don't do.
right.
It's
talked
once
to
you build that
several-
rapport, it's hard to say no to a person that cares for you and trusts your work.
We've just talked to several artists that they've relocated themselves, had to get into new shops, and then because of that, had to change the styles completely, or just have done it so that there is no kind of they don't have to go back to an old style that they're not comfortable with anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
The
Show
thing
what you
is-
want to do, show what you are going to do, and then let them accept it or not.
Sticking to your guns when you're the new guy in the shop, and whether you're the low man or not, being a veteran in tattoo, everyone else has already got their client base set, and somebody else is going to come in and want something that you don't do, some quick, easy tattoo. And do you say no and make no money, or do you say, okay, I'm going to do this, but this is just for the time being?
Right.
There's going to be a time when you come in here that I'm going to be just doing my own shit. Don't ask me for this stuff anymore.
Right.
Yeah,
we'll see how
this
that,
is for now.
see how that goes over. Well, man, that's,
I hope that works.
Yeah. That's,
Remember that shit I did for you last year?
I ain't
That's
doing it
fucking
again.
done.
I'm not doing it again. That's interesting. It'll be. I'm curious to follow this transition.
Me too,
and,
man.
and really to see how
me,
you're gonna.
Yeah, me doing this transition now, when it would have been hard enough in 2007.
Yeah.
Now there's like a few hundred more tattooers in
there's no
Austin.
Especially in Austin, man.
There's no shortage of good tattooers around here.
So
Not
good.
at all.
Yeah.
You're how many? You said you were the only shop in your town. How many shops or tattooers do you think you're in New Jersey where you are now?
Oh, in Jersey there's plenty. In my small town now there's 3, including me.
What is your town?
Manahawkin. It's the mainland town right before Long Beach Island, which is like an 18-mile beach community.
Oh, okay.
And that only has now, I believe, 1 tattoo shop left on it. That
Wow.
beach community. Yeah.
Wow. So
It's a quiet little area. Yeah.
That is, that's a big transition to make.
Yeah,
Of course,
I
you've done it
mean,
before. You've been here before. So
The towns are
you have an
small,
idea.
though, so it's not like other states where towns are gigantic. My town, you drive 5 minutes, you're in the next town, which has 3 tattoo shops, and then you drive another 10 minutes, you're in the next town with another 4 or 5 tattoo shops.
Okay.
So there are still plenty. Yeah.
Yeah. It just not by. If you measure it by town, it doesn't seem like very many.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about one of the smallest, most populated states in the nation. So
Yeah.
the towns are kind of like minute
Yeah.
compared
Gotcha.
to what you're looking at out here.
Yeah.
Drive 25 minutes, you're still in Austin. You drive 5 minutes, you're out of my town. Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, this is going to be interesting. I'm going to keep up with that. I'm glad we got to talk again because I'm glad to. I'll know to keep up. I'll know what I'm looking for whenever I keep up with you on
That's cool.
on
Yeah.
social media now.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if that was an Austin tattoo or a Jersey tattoo. Or I'm gonna say Austin because it's bulbous and it looks like it's fish-eyed. But I think he did that one in Austin.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know Ty's work, go to Ty Pallotta. How do you spell it? At Ty Pallotta, I think is on Instagram.
Pallotta.
Be written right here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
High tech shit.
Oh yeah,
I like
man.
that.
It's like, is it clickable? Can they click on it and go directly to his Instagram? That would be awesome if you could do that. All right.
But just go ahead and click on it anyway.
Click on it anyway. See what happens.
Click it.
Anything else new that you're working on? Are we good? Just that move is probably enough to keep
Dude,
up with.
it's stressful enough, man,
Yeah.
to think of what the future holds for me. Trying to keep my building going. I own the property I'm in, so I've got the mortgage on that. I've got the maintenance on it.
Yeah.
Roof's leaking. I just put a new roof on my house. I need a new roof on my shop. Like all this is going down while my family's going to be here, and then whatever job my wife gets to start out, I'm going to still be kicking towards rent and utilities here on top of what I got going on there. So I'm going to be grinding 6 days a week minimum to make sure I can keep this going.
Do I remember right? Is your wife a tattooer as well?
She used to be a tattooer. She owns an organic juice bar and cafe now that one of her girls is going to be sliding into while she starts this new adventure.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Huh.
It's interesting.
Will she
Yeah.
tattoo here or probably not?
I don't think she will. Yeah, she talks about getting back into tattooing every now and again, but her back is killing her when she's in a chair, and her back has 0 issues when she's standing up on her feet. So I think she'll take a standing up job. Yeah,
Go.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, man, good luck with it.
Thanks, dude.
And thanks for coming out
it's
again.
It's gonna be
It's good
crazy.
to see you again.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next one. We're going to get some food.